It all started with a whisper on the set, a whisper that spread like fire among those who had worked closest with Can Yaman. For months, everyone had been wondering if the actor had truly moved on, if he had left that chapter of his life behind. But according to one of his closest friends from the set, the truth was far from what the public believed. He's still in love, the friend confessed quietly, almost afraid to say it out loud. And we all know who. Those words were enough to shake the small circle of people who had seen everything, from the beginning of their connection to the painful end that no one wanted to talk about. They had witnessed the chemistry, the late-night talks, the looks that lasted longer than a script demanded. And most importantly, they had seen the silence that followed, the silence that said everything words couldn't. On the surface, Can looked strong, distant, focused on his work. He built walls of discipline and professionalism around himself, convincing the world he was over it. But behind the cameras, there were moments that betrayed him. The way he froze when her name was mentioned, the way his eyes softened when an old scene between them appeared on a monitor, those who were there knew. Love like that doesn't disappear. It hides, it waits, it burns quietly. The friend went on, people think he's forgotten. But sometimes, during breaks, he talks about the past like it was yesterday. He remembers little details no one else would, the way she laughed between takes, the coffee she used to bring him, the songs they listened to in silence. You can't fake that. You don't remember that much if it meant nothing. In an industry where everything is performance, this was one thing that wasn't. What they had was real, too real to be erased by fame, distance, or even pride. Those who saw it up close knew it wasn't a fleeting set romance. It was something deeper, something that still lived quietly in the spaces between scenes and memories. And now, after so many years, his friend's revelation reopened the wound that fans never let close. Could it be that Can Yaman, despite everything, still carries the same love in his heart? The same feeling that once made him smile differently, breathe differently, and look at life with hope? Because sometimes, even when life moves forward, the heart stays behind, exactly where it once found its truth. The revelation didn't come from a journalist or a gossip page, it came from someone who had shared long nights on set with Can Yaman, someone who knew what it meant to see the real person behind the camera-ready smile. We've all seen him trying to act like nothing's there, the friend said, but love like that doesn't just disappear. You can hide it from the public, not from the people who know you. It wasn't the first time crew members whispered about him still checking her social media, even if quietly, from a secondary account. They said he once froze during a break when someone played a song from their old series. He didn't say anything. He just looked down, smiled faintly, and walked away. But his eyes said it all. Those who know him best claim that every project he takes, every city he moves to, carries an invisible shadow, her. Even now, years later, people close to him insist that some of his emotional depth in recent roles doesn't come from the script, but from a place inside him that never healed. The friend continued, sometimes, when we're sitting around after filming, he brings up random memories. Not in a dramatic way. Just little things, like a joke she once made or something she said that stuck with him. He'll laugh about it, but you can tell, it's not just nostalgia. It's still there. Insiders have said that even though they've both built new lives, fame and distance have never erased the mark they left on each other. They weren't just co-stars. They were two people who found something real in a world built on fiction, and that's what made it impossible to forget. He never speaks badly about her, the friend added. Not once. Even when the media twisted stories or when people tried to provoke him, he just smiled. That silence says more than any denial could. Behind closed doors, it's said that Can keep certain mementos from that time, gifts, letters, even photos that never saw the public eye. When asked why he still keeps them, he reportedly said, because not everything is meant to be thrown away. Some things remind you who you were before the noise. Those who witnessed that period describe it as both magical and painful, the kind of love that gives you wings but also takes the air away when it ends. And maybe, for Can, that's exactly what it was, something too powerful to replicate, too personal to share again. Now, with his friend's confession echoing through fan circles, everyone's asking the same question: will he ever find the courage to reach out again? Or is he destined to keep loving her in silence, carrying what's left of their story in the quiet corners of his heart? In recent months, those closest to Can have noticed a subtle change, the kind that only happens when someone starts remembering too much. He's quieter now, more reflective. The interviews are shorter, the smiles are rarer, and sometimes, during filming breaks, he drifts into silence as if trapped inside a memory he can't escape from. He's been looking back more than ever, the same friend revealed. You can see it in his eyes. He's not searching for something new, he's remembering what he lost. It's not about fame anymore, or the chaos that comes with it. It's about the one person who once made everything make sense. The one who saw him not as the celebrity, but as the man behind the roles, vulnerable, imperfect, human. When she looked at him, he didn't have to perform. And maybe that's why it hurts so much now. During a recent interview, when a journalist casually mentioned her name, his reaction said more than words ever could. He froze for a second, took a deep breath, and smiled in that sad, nostalgic way fans have learned to recognize. He didn't deny anything. He didn't even try to change the subject. He just said softly, "Some memories stay with you forever." For fans who had followed their journey from the beginning, that was enough. It was confirmation that something still lived beneath the surface, an emotion too strong to fade with time. Social media erupted, theories spread, and within hours, fans were dissecting every word, every expression, every pause in his voice. But behind all the noise, there's a deeper truth that few understand: love doesn't always end with goodbye. Sometimes, it continues in silence, through the little things, a familiar song, an old photo, a place that still smells like a memory. And for Can, those reminders are everywhere. One of his close colleagues recalled a moment from a recent set in Italy. "We were shooting a romantic scene," they said, and suddenly, his expression changed. It wasn't acting. It was real emotion. You could see tears forming, but he held them back. Later, he admitted that the scene reminded him of her, the way she used to laugh during rehearsals, the way she'd tease him for being too serious. People can move to new cities, take on new roles, surround themselves with new faces, but there's no escaping a love that once felt like home. That's what his friends keep saying: he's not haunted by her, he's anchored by her. She represents a version of himself that was pure, before the fame, before the rumors, before the weight of expectations. And perhaps that's why he hasn't truly opened his heart to anyone else. Because deep down, no matter how far he goes, every road leads back to that one story, the one that began on a film set but never truly ended. As his friend quietly put it, he doesn't need to say her name. We all know who she is. To understand what still ties Can to that love, you have to go back to where it all began, to the set where two strangers met and something unexplainable sparked between them. It wasn't planned, it wasn't written into the script, it simply happened. What started as laughter between takes turned into conversations that lasted long after the camera stopped rolling. The energy between them was magnetic, impossible to ignore, and soon even the crew started to notice. They didn't need to act, one set worker once recalled. When the director said cut, they'd still look at each other the same way. It wasn't a scene anymore, it was real. In those early days, Can was at the height of his career, confident, playful, unstoppable. But around her, something changed. She made him softer, calmer. And for her, he became a source of strength and protection. They balanced each other in a way that even they couldn't fully understand. Every stolen glance, every small touch carried a weight that only they could feel. But with fame came the chaos, rumors, headlines, constant speculation. The line between fiction and reality blurred, and what was once theirs alone became public property. They were under so much pressure, the friend explained. Every smile, every moment was analyzed. At some point, they stopped being two people and became a story for the world to consume. The late nights turned quieter. The laughter faded into tension. They began speaking less, avoiding each other to protect what was left of their privacy, but in doing so, they slowly broke the connection that had made them both shine. And when the end finally came, it wasn't with a fight. It was silence. A heavy, painful silence that neither of them dared to fill. He didn't say goodbye properly, the friend admitted. He just walked away, maybe hoping that if he left first, it would hurt less. But it didn't. In the months that followed, Can buried himself in work. New roles, new countries, new faces, everything to fill the void. But no matter how far he ran, something always brought him back to that set, to those days when life felt simple and love felt certain. Even now, years later, he still carries pieces of that story with him, the scent of the flowers she liked, the bracelet she once gave him for luck, the playlist they built together when words weren't enough. It was never just a romance between two actors, it was the kind of connection that artists dream of, the one that leaves a mark on your soul and shapes everything you do after. And that's why, when his friend said, he's still in love, and we all know with who, it didn't surprise anyone who had been there from the start. Because real love doesn't fade with time, it transforms into something quieter, deeper, and in Can's case, eternal. Years passed, and both their lives changed in ways no one could have predicted. New projects, new countries, new faces, yet somehow, fate always found a way to remind them of each other. Every city Can traveled to, every interview he gave, there was always a question that led back to her. He'd smile politely, answer carefully, but those who looked closely could see it, that flicker in his eyes, that half-second of hesitation before he spoke. He's not the same when her name comes up, said the same friend who started it all. It's like part of him goes back in time. You can see the fight in his eyes, between the man he is now and the boy who fell in love back then. Even when he tried to build something new, it never lasted long. The rumors of new relationships always faded as quickly as they appeared. People close to him whispered that no one could reach the place she once occupied. Not because he didn't try, but because no one else made him feel that same sense of home. There was one moment, a quiet, private one, that changed everything again. During an event in Rome, fate played its cruel game, she was there too. They didn't plan it, they didn't speak beforehand, but when their eyes met across the room, it was as if the years vanished. No cameras, no crowd, just two souls who had never really stopped recognizing each other. Witnesses said his expression froze, her smile trembled. No words were exchanged, but everyone around them could feel the electricity. After that night, his friend revealed, he didn't sleep. He told me he kept hearing her voice in his mind, the same way he did years ago. He said, "It's strange. I thought I moved on, but when I saw her, it felt like my heart remembered everything." That confession stayed hidden until now, buried under professionalism and pride. But love like theirs doesn't die quietly. It lingers, in memories, in songs, in the eyes of those who still believe that some connections are meant to last forever. He once said in an old interview, almost like a message meant for her, sometimes, the greatest love stories don't end. They just stop being told. And maybe that's the truth behind all of this, that their story never ended, it simply went silent. Now, with his friend's revelation out in the open, fans all over the world are asking the same question, will silence remain their answer, or will fate give them one more chance to rewrite what was lost? As his friend put it in the end, he's still in love. And deep down, I think she knows it too. Because some hearts never stop beating for the same name. Even when the world believes the story is over.